And London Pictures continues at all three White Cube galleries into April and May. Now, from the often profane to the sacred, the Jewish festival of Passover is intimately linked to an ancient text, the Haggadah. With a new version of the book now on the shelves, we sent Tim Samuels to meet the man behind the reworking of one of the most beloved books in all of Jewish history.
For 5,000 years, Judaism has been fueled by the excesses of food and family. During the festival of Passover, most Jews sit down to the traditional Seder dinner, meaning order, a ritual of wine and worship to mark the liberation of Jews from slavery.
At the heart of the Passover meal is the Haggadah, the prayer and instruction book which guide you through the evening's rituals. Ours used to be pretty tatty numbers which got fished down from the loft once a year and you didn't really pay too much attention to. It was mainly counting down the pages to see when dinner was going to be served. But in between the crumbs and the wine stains from previous years, the pages themselves tell one of the most epic stories from history.
Haggadah means the telling, the handing down of the story of Exodus to the next generation, recounting the journey of Moses leading the Israelites out of oppression in Egypt to freedom. Early manuscripts have been traced to the Middle Ages, but the need to revise and sustain the story has made it the most translated and reprinted Jewish book in history.
Judaism straddles both the religious and the more cultural. Some people are very religious, others, not so much. But all are united by a constant urge to question and debate. So it's not surprising that in this latest incarnation of the Haggadah, it's been given a modern twist, something of a cultural makeover.
Having made his name with the novels Everything is Illuminated and Extremely Loud and Incredibly Close, Jonathan Safran Foer has overseen an imaginative new version of the Haggadah. He's united a bold translation with commentaries from 4 leading Jewish thinkers, each bringing a distinct political, literary, philosophical or child-friendly perspective.
If you look around your Passover table now, you'll most certainly see the muddle and the mess of the world. There's likely a stain someplace on the tablecloth, or perhaps one of the glasses has a smudge. Soon, things will be spilled. You might be sitting with people you do not know very well, or do not like very much, so your own emotional state is somewhat disordered.
Jonathan, welcome to the oldest synagogue in London. As we sit here, do you feel awed and a sense of, what have I done taking on one of the oldest books in the religion?
No, I mean, Haggadahs have been adapted wherever there have been Jews, for as long as there have been Jews. And there's something inside the Haggadah that demands that. There's the sort of central trope of the Seder is that we are supposed to feel as if we ourselves were liberated from Egypt. Not just that we receive a story, not that we care about it, but that we literally reenact it. And it's like the most radical act of empathy that any book would ever ask of a reader. And for that to happen, the book has to be contemporary in certain ways. You know, the translation has to be somehow in our idiom. I don't mean conversationally, but clear to us. So to me, I felt only that I was continuing a tradition, not that I was in any way departing from one.
Is it fair to say that you're not the most religious guy in town? So why have you got involved with reinterpreting a very traditional religious text?
Because it's important to me. You know, that's really the answer. With this Haggadah, it is not God-centric. It is question-centric. It is asking humans to ask questions of themselves. Questions about justice and mercy, about slavery and freedom. You know, these are the very big themes. They're not exclusively Jewish themes, but Jews have found very good ways of reminding ourselves of these problems or questions. Why did God harden Pharaoh's heart against the Jews, even after it seemed Pharaoh was ready to let them go? Did God want to make a point? Don't even think of challenging me. Why did America shower death on Nagasaki when it seemed that the Japanese were readying themselves to surrender? Was the firebombing of German cities so necessary as to neutralize all moral qualms? The Exodus story ends in freedom for Jews. The Civil War ended with freedom for African Americans. World War II ended with fascism utterly vanquished and the death camps liberated. Can we say that the ends didn't justify the means?
When I heard you were editing it, and I thought, oh, here we go. I thought it was going to be a more radical, a more divisive, have more of an attitude.
When I first envisioned it, I did think, oh, this will be a really a more radical book. You know, I don't mean politically, but visually and more textually adventurous. And through the process of working on it, I became more and more in love with what the book was. And the goal was to create something with a kind of invisible authorship as much as possible, even though the commentaries have very distinct perspectives.
If people this year use your Haggadah for the Seder dinner, how's it going to feel different?
Hopefully the book will facilitate just a more engaging and more vibrant experience. You know, hopefully that when we close the book, we will say that's what we always wanted it to be. You know, we had the conversations that we had been hoping we would be able to have.
And then have a good dinner.
And then have a good dinner.
In years to come, this new Haggadah might become the dusty perennial in the loft, or even replaced altogether. But then, that's kind of the point.